I like it for the radio show. That's like bang. It's like
Yeah.
right. What's that beat?
So I wondered if we could talk about, and I didn't want to use any specific names, so I'll just generally describe it, but
That's how we do it.
the example neighborhood.
Example of,
Or
let's see,
city, or
like I can't read that. Let's see what it says. Hold on, let me put my glasses on. Be prepared. Okay, I can speak Spanish, can I?
well,
You're like,
it's not so
I
much,
don't know, can you?
no, it's not so much that. I just didn't want to say specific names.
Oh, I know,
we came up with
I
a
know,
great
making
name
a
and stuff,
joke.
but yeah, you can speak Spanish. But
like,
well,
what's my version of a cool neighborhood, or how do we get to have real community, or?
no, we're literally supposed to make like the example neighborhood, so
Oh, yeah.
that the planet can look and go, oh,
We've been working on that.
that's what a good
I mean,
community
yeah.
looks like. That's what good leaders look like. Oh, that's what people who are getting along, and this is what a successful life is. Like, are there...
You talking about like purposeful structure?
Yes,
you know?
yes. Like, are there ideas or things...
If you even mention the word structure or template or paradigm, people are like, oh no, it has to be a free floating amoeba of peace and.
But the right people will hear it and take that and go start making it in their areas. And so, love if you could share some good ideas of what would this look like. If you could start in your own, everybody wants to help, and nobody knows where to start. So if we could give you some pointers and tips and ideas to start in your home and your own community, in your own little part of the planet.
That's brilliant.
What are some things that people could envision or improve upon, or?
So we all individually have idealized versions of what our community would look like, right? Inside of us, if only such and such, right? It would be better. Everybody has that, hoods have that, and then middle class have that, and then way up in the, everybody has that same thing. What do we even do?
Well, like,
how do we go from...
First thing that always comes to my mind whenever I think of this specific subject, because we've discussed it before, is always free food. Like free fruit trees, or, I know community gardens are a little harder because somebody has to actually tend to it or whatever, but I feel like when I visited Hawaii and I saw... there were mangoes just falling.
This is awesome. Yes.
There were papayas just growing right there. Like, nobody was hungry. That's not the case here. We drive around here and there's people literally just baking into burnt chips.
Yes.
And starving and no water and
real life humans.
How hard is it? I get some of the downsides. My mind does think about the down, like, oh, who cares? There's rotten fruit on the floor. Like, we go around and pick up trash at the park.
Yeah.
So for sure we could pick up rotten fruit. I do it for old ladies. I made my kids do it for them as well. They couldn't get down and get all the old fruit from the trees. Like, I feel like that's a solvable problem. I'd rather have rotten fruit than starving people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the first thing that always comes to my mind, is just imagining like citrus trees or something like that, where it's just free and anyone can eat and people are not hungry.
No, I could talk about this for a long time, because these are so we've observed our fellow man or woman, hungry and starved out and cooked on the curb, and maybe cracked out too, you know what I mean? But hungry and not cared for, right? Left out in the cold. And these are people who we know. These are people who have, done the same things we've done, but they've ended up out there. And we've even ended up in places we didn't expect to, right? So there's no good reason. And in fact, there's no reason why anybody should be hungry, first of all. Like that's not okay,
No.
right? So, but it happens. There's people, there's people starving every day, tons. Not good and not okay, not acceptable, right? But we're talking about the community and how do we do something? How do we do something, right? Well, the citrus thing is funny because I got personal stories about that. And then what do our representative communities include?
Yes, representative community.
There you go. Okay, there you go. So, and citrus, right? No, citrus. So we're in California, right? California used to be all orange groves. Now we don't know what it is. It's just a bunch of everything. But a representative community. Let's start with home base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do things at home, grassroots. Okay. So, Burbank, right? Burbank's a cool community. It's just a nice community, right? If you don't know Burbank, it's cool and it's don't tell anybody. But it's just family homes. It's like I always say it's like Hollywood. If Hollywood were clean and perfect and people could actually live there, But it has beautiful homes, beautiful parks, beautiful trees, beautiful people. It's just very idyllic. It's like something that someone wrote about in the 50s and put it up on the screen. It's nice. For the most part, right? It's like any other community, and there's problems, blah blah blah, right? But if you look at it and live there a while, it's beautiful. And one of the things I think that makes it really cool is that just everywhere you go, there's trees, and there's even a lot of citrus trees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always I like to walk a lot, and then I cut through alleyways a lot because just why not? You might get eaten by Rottweilers, or you might find something cool, right? You never know. You might find an old car, But I cut through alleys, and then in Burbank, you can walk through the alley in Burbank and pick up a whole meal. You know what I mean? You can pick up like some kumquats and some naranjas, and you could there's 3 avocados. There's limes. There's just stuff everywhere, and it's not necessarily just in people's yards. You can go to a restaurant and there might be like an orange tree in the parking lot, So it's not, it is, it's an intentional, it's a planned it's a planned city, it's a beautiful city, but it is, you could say slightly, it's still in the past in terms of like the pace of things. People who lived there a long time would say, oh, it's speeding up and it's crazy. And it's just, no, it's not what it used to be, right? Like the old dudes at the donut shop are like, it's a little too much now.
Right, but for the rest of us.
Yeah, but the rest of us like, wow, there's like oranges and you can just go pick one. You know what I mean? So, there are examples there are small examples, but these are things that are practical and doable and implementable, and anybody can do it. And in fact, we will be doing these things, right? Plant a tree? Well, plant an orange tree. Plant an avocado tree. I know a real beautiful girlfriend in Compton. And, when I was a kid, I was in Carson, and I had a lemon tree. I had a few different trees. But I remember the lemon tree was the thing I had the most. But if you got a lemon tree, make lemonade. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like lemon meringue pie, put lemons in your water, squirt it all in your salad, whatever it is, right? You get lemons. I launched my lemons into the park with a wrist rocket. That's what I did. When I was mad, I'd be like, I'm going to get somebody at that park with this lemon, bang. But that's an abundance, you know what I mean? You can have so many avocados, you got to give them away, like you said. So my friend in Compton, she sells hers, you know what I mean? I don't know how much she sells them for, but get your money, food, there's an example of abundance, resourcefulness, community service, just with an avocado tree and a person who's willing to go on the curb and say, I got avocados, if you really need one, I'll give you one, but, give me a couple bucks, you get an avocado,
I feel like
but all communities do usually, but all communities can and will have public spaces, right? Mm-hmm. And in those public spaces, there's examples here of things, plants and things that you can utilize,
I really want to design those spaces.
And you will too. I know people who design golf courses, I don't know why, but but they do. And you can design public spaces, and you can design, what do we call them? Those what do you call them?
They're planters. Garden planters.
Planter beds.
Plots or
but people go there and utilize those.
They're like community gardens.
Oh, community garden. There you go.
So
there's
a raised bed that you can.
There you go.
Usually it's for rent.
Yes.
You would pay a certain amount or something like that. I think too about like crime and stuff like that, and where it starts. Like, because I feel like you can address behaviors if someone has behavior because they were traumatized, blah blah blah, something like that. That's one thing. That's where I feel like okay, that's where the effort needs to be. Not, hey, we have crime because this person can't find a place to
sleep or eat.
This person can't eat. Like those, we shouldn't have that.
Yes.
Crime because of that. Like I feel like that's a fixable, doable thing.
It most certainly
the mental illness, that's a different situation. People pissed off and running around and punching people because they can't control themselves. That's something different. But if it's because you can't,
we're addressing
sleep.
We're addressing we will and we are addressing all of the things that contribute to the chaos and the pandemonium. We're addressing all of those things in real time, and we've solved all those things. You know, we say we, but these problems are not problems that exist because, you know,
they don't
we're
exist
incapable
here.
Somehow of. Huh?
Yeah, I said they don't exist here. I feel like they.
Yes. They're largely manufactured.
Right, that's what I was.
Yes.
Going for. And I wanted you to confirm that.
And we're not I'm not suggesting that people's feelings are manufactured, or people's outrage is manufactured, or people's heartbreak is manufactured. That's not manufactured.
No, but I think it's people taking advantage of a situation or a thing for personal gain and
all the time.
The expense of their neighbor.
All day. Yeah, there you go. Whoa.
I want to be top dog. I want to be amazeballs.
That's right.
So I'm going to rig it.
I'm going to muscle my way, and I'm
going to rig it so that other people can't get near me, and they'll stay down, and I'm nice and high, and it's not.
Oh, we're addressing that too. Trust me.
Realistic, yeah.
We're addressing that too. Anything that pushes humans or pushes us to these real heightened states, you know, these real heated and heightened states, pressurized and all that. There's some steam that gets let off, right? We see it. It's going to get let off one way or another. But that's not ultimately what pressure does, right? Pressure extracts impurities, right? It brings impurities to the surface. You can see it, you can taste it, you can smell it. It brings it right up to the top. If it's in you, it's going to get squeezed out. If you have a lot of garbage inside of you, it's going to get pushed to the top, and we're going to be able to look at it clearly and plainly, right? But that's just a thing that happens. The other thing that happens is that, you know, community is a real thing. You know, people get close when they go through crap. You know, there's a reason why they call your friends like your road dogs, or, you know, you got buddies in the trenches, right? Like war analogies where it's like, well, damn, we've been through some stuff. But we're not delusional, you know, we're not enemies because someone got us pissed off at who knows what, right? People, right, pressure will bring people to a heightened state, but then when that heightened state subsides, you either got more sense or less, right? I'll just go on and say that if you're like a good person, you know, if you tend towards good things and caring right about your fellow man, you know, you'll come out of these heated things like, oh shoot, I learned a few things, I've seen a few things, right?
Yes.
I just woke up, right?
Yeah.
Holy cannoli, you know, I've seen the light, whatever, right? But if you're a punk, you know what I mean? If you're still into muscling people and like, if you're still into like, you know, I'm big and I'm bad and I'm gonna lean on you and I'm gonna use everything to my advantage, right? I'll tell you what, watch. It used to be, right? Time was, right? It used to be.
This is what I think people need to hear.
It used to be the way of the frickin' world.
Yes.
Right? Whether you were aware of it or not, you know.
Yes.
Where I'm gonna get over on you, and then you're going to use whatever crumbs you got left to get over on your next three friends.
Yes.
Right? And it's dwindled down and whittled down to nothing better than that. Manipulative, scheming con game over your fellow man, right? But now it is not that. It is most certainly not that. Because, right, if you're of the mindset that, you know, watch, we got high and mighty real quick. If you're of the mindset, if you're of the belief, right? If you feel that, we live on a beautiful planet and we got beautiful, human beings amongst us who are not easily swayed by nonsense and shenanigans, then you're in luck. Because I was explaining this the best way I could to another friend. I have like 3 friends, but I was saying it's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? It's like the Gracie brothers. Watch. It's like, hi, I'm a little, small brown, I look like just a defenseless little, soul, right? But I'm on the side of good, right? I got heart. I know where I'm at. I'm not confused about things. I understand that the future, is not just, better than yesterday, but perfect, right? You could say that the good in people, the good that's here, will, in the same manner that jiu-jitsu fighters use the opponent's own strength and weight and stupidity against them.
Yes.
They'll take that sucker and be like, I'm gonna get you on the ground, bang, and then they just choke him out like a snake, you know what I mean? And this big old beast that once was just like, it was so close you couldn't even see how horrifying it was, like, I don't want to look at this thing at all. It's like sweaty and hairy and disgusting, and it's like rotten teeth. What's this thing gonna do? But the moment has come, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're little itty bitty brown jiu-jitsu fighters, you know what I mean? I'm one too. I'm 6'4", I'm white, you know what I mean? But no, you use your opponent, right? Because they're on you. They've been on us. They've been opposed to like waking up and being happy and seeing solutions. They've been opposed to that. They're not trying to help people. They've been trying to eradicate people, you know what I mean? But you take their entire weight, that big burden that was on you, and you just flip it, bang, and you stick your elbow in their mouth and choke them out. And you got, you know what I mean? And in one move, you got both of their arms behind their head, you got their leg pinned backwards, you got your knee in their groin, and you're like wrapped around them like, rah! And they're like, wait, and you're like, no, that's you. You weigh 800 pounds, you know what I mean? You're the 800-pound beast with all this foolishness. But now that part's over. That's it. Dada.